Today we're taking a look at the New York Knicks versus New Orleans Pelicans match, which is happening on Sunday, April 18, 2021, and giving you my betting tips and predictions in general on this game. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. The New York Knicks will kick off a 6-game homestand on Sunday afternoon. Their first opponent will be the wilting New Orleans Pelicans. New Orleans is currently in 11th in the Western Conference with a 25-31 record, and this team is in real danger of missing out on the play-ins for the NBA playoffs. Meanwhile, the Knicks are looking to finish in the top 6 in the Eastern Conference in order to avoid the play-ins. The New Orleans Pelicans were supposed to be the team taking a step toward the playoffs this season while the New York Knicks rebuilt. But here we are in mid-April, the Knicks with aspirations of home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs, and the Pelicans are struggling to score with a pair of all-star forwards on the roster. These teams met in New Orleans on Wednesday, and the Knicks cruised to a 10-point win and cover while the score went over the 219.5 total. Let's dig in to see if anything will be different this time around. So here's my first betting suggestion for that game. As talented as the Pelicans are, there's no reason here to go against the Knicks. They're playing extremely well at the moment and deserve to be better than 6-4 over their last 10 games. I expect New York's defense to smother New Orleans' struggling offense, especially without any strong perimeter presence. Williamson might have a big game, and Ingram could reach a solid point total, but that's all the Pelicans have right now. The Knicks went into New Orleans and beat the Pelicans a few nights ago. They are a tough matchup for the Pelicans because of their great perimeter defense. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Knicks minus 2.5. There's no getting around this being a disappointing season for the Pelicans. The expectations surrounding Stan Van Gundy's hiring was that New Orleans would be pushing for a playoff berth with 2020 All-Star Brandon Ingram healthy alongside Zion Williamson. That has not been the case. The Pelicans aren't heading down the stretch playing very well either. New Orleans is 4-6 in its last 10 games, and its minus 4.8 net rating ranks 24th in the NBA in that span, according to NBA Advanced Stats. New Orleans' offense has been the biggest issue during that recent stretch of games. The Pels' offensive rating in that span is 105.7, ranking 26th in the NBA. Especially now without J.J. Redick, the Pelicans' lack of perimeter presence is glaring. Over its last 10 games, only 31.6% of New Orleans' shots have come from three-point range, which is the fourth fewest in the NBA during that span. That's good for just 30.8 attempts per game from deep while shooting 34.9%. Head coach Tom Thibodeau has the Knicks on the cusp of making the postseason for the first time in 8 years. The first-year head coach has made this team much better with his defense-first mentality, and the Knicks are currently 30-27 thanks to a 5-game winning streak. New York knocked off the Grizzlies, Raptors, and Lakers at home before going on the road to beat the Pelicans and Mavericks a few days ago. The Knicks shot the lights out from beyond the arc in Wednesday's win over the Pelicans. They hit 51.5% of their threes as a team, while the Pelicans could only make 21.4% of their triples. Julius Randle led all scorers with 32 points, and Alec Burks came off the bench to add 21 points in a 116-106 victory. The Pelicans' bench went 1 of 12 from downtown. Randle exploded for 44 points in the Knicks' 117-109 road win over the Mavericks on Friday night. R.J. Barrett added 24 points as the Knicks shot 51.2% from the floor and 50% from outside the arc. Luka Doncic had 22 points and 19 assists, but it wasn't enough for the hosts. The Pelicans have been below .500 since early January. They haven't been able to go on any long winning streaks this season, as their defense is one of the worst in the NBA. New Orleans had won 3 straight games prior to its loss to New York on Wednesday night. The Pelicans knocked off the 76ers, Cavaliers, and Kings in a 4-day stretch. Zion Williamson had 37 points against the Sixers and 38 points against the Cavaliers, but it's been Brandon Ingram that has led the Pelicans in scoring the last 3 games. Ingram had 34 points against the Wizards on Friday night, but it wasn't enough as the Pelicans fell 117 to 115 in overtime. Russell Westbrook had as many points as New Orleans in overtime, and Williamson fouled out after just 31 minutes of play. The Knicks own a 105.5 defensive rating over their last 10 games, as well as a pretty impressive 113.3 offensive rating. Put that together, and you get the NBA's third best net rating in that span, which makes the Knicks unlucky to only be 6-4 in their last 10. Winning 5 straight isn't too bad, though, and neither is covering 8 in a row. New York's trend of going over the total in 4 of their last 5 games is a bit surprising given its slow pace, although the Knicks have had a number more than 216.5 just once in that stretch. New York is 16-10-1 against the spread at home this season and 35-21-1 overall. It started out the season as a surprise package, becoming an under-bettor's dream. Books have started showing their totals more respect as the season has progressed, though. Randle is having the most productive season of his career. He is averaging career highs in points, 23.6 ppg, rebounds, 10.2 rpg, and assists, 6.0 apg, and he leads the Knicks in all 3 of those categories too. The University of Kentucky product has had at least 32 points in 3 straight games, and he has had a hot hand from distance during this stretch. The second leading scorer on the Knicks is Barrett. He struggled as a rookie last season, but he is playing much better in his second year. Barrett is making 44.8% of his field goals and 38.1% of his threes for 17.3 ppg. The former Duke standout is a strong rebounder for a guard too with 5.7 rpg. The only other real offensive threat is Burks. The veteran guard has largely been used off the bench, and he is averaging 12.6 ppg. Defense has been the key to New York's successful season. Thibodeau is known as one of the best defensive minds in the league, and this roster has bought in after so many frustrating years under owner James Dolan. The Knicks have the best scoring defense in the league, 104.3 ppg, and they also rank first in opponent three-point percentage and opponent shooting percentage. Julius Randle has been thriving all season, but he's been producing at an elite level over his last 3 games. In wins over the Lakers, Pelicans, and Mavericks, Randle is shooting 51.3% on 26 attempts per game and is at 52% on 8.3 three-point attempts per game. He's averaging 36.7 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 5.3 assists over his last 3. So here's my second betting suggestion for that game. The New Orleans Pelicans have been one of the more inconsistent teams in the league this season, and they lose on the road by an average of 3.3 points and in the underdog role by an average of 3.9 points. The New York Knicks have put together an impressive 5-game winning streak, and they're winning by an average of 8.6 points during that stretch. The Pelicans are 0-4 ATS in their last 4 road games and 2-5 ATS in their last 7 games overall. The Knicks are 11-4-1 ATS in their last 16 home games and 23-8-1 ATS in their last 32 games overall. The over is 36-15 in Pelicans' last 51 overall. The over is 4-1 in Knicks' last 5 overall. The under is 13-5 in the last 18 meetings in New York. The over is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings. The New Orleans Pelicans look for a win after splitting their last 8 games. The New Orleans Pelicans are averaging 114.5 points on 48.1% shooting and allowing 115 points on 47.2% shooting. Zion Williamson is averaging 26.7 points and 7.1 rebounds, while Brandon Ingram is averaging 24.3 points and 5 rebounds. Lonzo Ball is the third double-digit scorer and James Johnson is grabbing 3.8 rebounds. The New Orleans Pelicans are shooting 34.9% from beyond the arc and 73.7% from the free throw line. The New Orleans Pelicans are allowing 38.9% shooting from deep and are grabbing 46.9 rebounds per game. My second betting advice for that game is to pick under. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.